Do you remember the first time you saw a trailer for a game you were excited about? One of the most iconic moments for me was, ironically, at the Game Awards many years ago. They announced that a new game was coming out. It was a black screen, and all you heard was that iconic Reaper sound. And we got to see, just for a second, what the conclusion of the Mass Effect saga would look like with Mass Effect 3. That was the very first time that we saw anything about this game. We knew it was coming out, and ultimately it turned out to be a really great experience. I think everyone listening to me has moments like that, where they got really, really excited about a game just based on a noise, on a small clip, or even a word going on the screen. I think everyone listening to me also has been very disappointed from that same process, getting super hyped up, cannot wait for what's coming up next, and then ultimately getting a game like No Man's Sky, maybe Watch Dogs 1, other games like that just did not fulfill that promise. And this week on Dialogue Wheel, the show where we discuss the world of art, business, and gaming, deal with these complex issues, and put it into one simple thesis. This week, we ask the question that I think philosophers have been struggling with for eons. When should the hype train leave the station? I'm Andy Burkowski. I'm joined this week by Adam Corky, Callie Lang, and Choo, everyone, and Tori Urquhart. Thank you all very, very much. Some exciting music, that Thomas the Tank Engine, those hot jams. Everyone just heard it. We don't need more about it.
Okay.
So, do you guys remember, we're going to get into this, and basically, when I say the hype train leaving the station, that kind of parlance, what the hell am I talking about? Does anyone have any ideas?
Any ideas?
Any moment of silence?
What's a moment of silence?
No. Does anyone know what I'm saying? Our cameraman Ryan looked at me like I was insane.
Yeah. Like, it's, stuff gets announced way too goddamn early. And I'm just excited about
what is the hype train?
Well,
let's just give me...
When you're saying...
Anyway, what were you going to say?
The publicity.
Yeah.
It's the publicity.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tori.
Thank
you very much. So we're talking about when a game, you get that hype, and it's a train because there's a sense of momentum, right? Like when you start to see a little bit, you realize, those days are coming up fast. It's almost September. We're going to get to play some Red Dead. I want to see a little bit more about it. And what about, how do you guys feel about the hype train?
It depresses me.
No, you're not a fan.
I am not a fan because I want my games right now. I'm an impatient gamer.
Yeah.
And if I see a trailer and I'm like, ooh, that looks good, and I see it's like 455 years in the future, I'm going to forget about this.
The 2018 release date doesn't
No, I'm
impress
just
you
I
much?
just want it now.
Yeah.
Just stop teasing me, E3. Like, oh, God.
But that's the fun of it, though. Like, people get excited about the world lost its fucking mind because we got to see Josh Brolin look silly in green makeup with a fist thing in this Infinite Warfare trailer.
He's not green, he's purple.
All right, listen. Comics are for losers. Let's move on. He's upset. What's on your shirt right now?
The Flash.
The Flash? Yeah. So what about you guys? How do you guys feel about hype?
I love the hype train.
Yeah.
I am the rider. I am a passenger on the hype train. For me, it's really hard because I pay attention to the news all the time. So when
Your life is great. I understand.
Yeah.
It's not often that something surprises me.
Yeah.
So, but I do love finding out something new. I love being super excited with, it's like there's a community of people that are really excited, and I love being a part of the community. It's like people who love sports and want to cheer on their sports team. It's not because of the sport.
Well, it's not like they know when the game's coming.
It's a bit different.
Yes. Okay, well, I hold parties
ball.
for the Switch conference. Not even like the release or anything. For the conference, I had friends over
That must have been a hopping
sat around
spot.
the
Yeah, I was gonna
TV,
say, bumping.
super excited. People have bingo cards for E3 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love the hype train.
really?
I love being super excited for games that are not out yet. And I mean,
You've been burned before, though, right? Like, that must have happened.
Come on.
not severely, because I like to. I'm always on the hype
I
train
got
of
some third
really good
degrees,
games.
baby.
Yeah.
I've been hurt
On
by
really
this.
good
Yeah.
games. No, honestly, most of the games that I've been super hyped for have been they lived up.
they lived
Like
up to the
Odyssey
expectation.
and Breath of the Wild, they lived up to.
What about you,
Live your
Tori?
life.
I think that this is all a product of, once again, corporate seeing what indie's doing and
Preach,
picking on
sister,
it.
preach.
Picking on it, being like, we can do that too. We can do it too.
Yeah.
You've transmogrified it. All right. Thank you, Neopets, for giving me that word.
Oh my god.
Oh, dude, yeah. Oh my god. Gotta hit that refresh rate quick, or you're not gonna get those hidden items.
Yup.
The fact that you know what this is.
All right, we got young people here, but yeah, but sorry, yeah, are you jumping on it?
I think it's all a product, and it's gone too far.
Yeah.
Like, I remember waiting for Kingdom Hearts 2 because I fell in love with Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
and I waited those 5
Mickey Mouse
years.
with a gun? Come on.
Oh yeah.
Donald Duck.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But then the wait times got longer and longer and longer, and
then you had the points, the decimal.
Yeah,
Kingdom Hearts
we're gonna get into the
decimal.
decimals in a second. We're
what
gonna
is this now that we're just getting so excited to see the trailer?
Yeah.
Like,
or even the release trailer, like literally
love
just
that.
the name. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Why?
I mean, like.
Okay, well, let's hold on.
Okay, okay.
So the reason why
I'm gonna be
we're
surprised
talking
by
about
that
this today,
trailer.
there is some kind of connection to the world of gaming. This week, Sucker Punch announced, not this week, they announced a little while ago at the PlayStation Worldwide Paris event, a new game. Of course, you remember Sucker Punch from Infamous. They were kind of the watershed developers that were alongside PlayStation. You buy a PlayStation 3, you get a copy of Infamous. And this new game, and I'm very sorry if I'm saying it incorrectly, Ghost of Tetsuma?
Tetsuma.
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 Ooh, I like the way you say it. That's cool. It looks incredible. It's about the Warring States period in Japan. It looks like they're using that really cool light design effect that they had with the latest Infamous game. That was so innovative and just beautiful. They were silent for several years, and that's kind of odd for a video game studio to make that choice. And during an interview with GameSpot this week, Tsushima?
Sushima.
So Sushi Man. Okay. PlayStation Worldwide Studios SVP Michael Denny said to GameSpot, I think the right thing to do, that's what it says. I think it's the right thing to do, and I think we're learning, and a lot of publishers are learning. This is a right time to announce games. I think it's the right time to announce. We've been working on the game for a long time. There's a great playable version of the game already, so we're excited to let everybody know about it. We have made mistakes in the past. So this is very interesting. It kind of speaks to the idea of introducing the hype train and what it means. We here are going to decide, I guess, what we enjoy more. Do we like it more when you do get excited about a game and you have that time to really marinate on it and, like you said, Callie, become a part of the community? Or do you want it just to be, the quirky side of things, a surprise, and it's in your hand almost the next day? I'm going to throw out some names here. Kingdom Hearts 3. We don't got that. They started talking about that. What do we have? Speculated February 2010.
Confirmed March 2010.
Confirmed March 2010. So 7 years. They've added, like you said, Callie, so many little decimal points and new iterations to it. But we didn't get to see that sort of game. Shenmue 3.
Yeah.
Shenmue 3.
Yeah. And they even had the Kickstarter for it.
They had a
everything.
Kickstarter. Everyone lost their mind about it. Not a whisper.
Yeah.
Nothing being said anymore. Last Guardian.
When do you think? Game.
Really great product. I think that's an example of, like, you wait for it and you
It was
get
like
something
8
great.
years of E3
Yeah.
trailers.
2005. 2005. But remember
It
that
wasn't
first
worth
trailer
the
for
8
The
years.
Division, though? That first trailer for The Division, that was like a fake trailer that was manufactured at E3. Completely a surprise. And then the actual game, unfortunately, didn't really push those boundaries. Mass Effect Andromeda was announced November 2012. That came out this year, and we got to see it kind of fail and falter and go through the ringer, so to speak. I was so excited about that. I was so jazzed. I love these team members. Like, I was on the forums. I was there, man. And then they shut down the forums. They closed down the forums like last year so people can get excited about their game, which blows my mind.
Wow.
Do you guys think of anything else? Some games that, like, they were announced a lot. You got something?
Final Fantasy 15.
Okay, great example. Yeah, so
But that was actually, that lived up to a lot of people's So
they
it was a long time. It was a really long time.
10
And
years,
it shouldn't,
an actual decade.
shouldn't have been. Yeah,
Yeah.
it shouldn't have been that long.
Of being like, it's the Final Fantasy with the car.
Yeah.
Like we said, the
It's
car
the
one.
car.
It's
Yeah.
the car,
The car
one.
one.
Yeah.
And you had this one on the list, Pokemon Go. I don't like that was a surprise to me. You said, Callie, you mentioned they'd been talking about that one for a while. Eh?
Yeah, they'd been talking about that one for a while, and they also had that trailer with like they had the April Fool's one first, and then they had the trailer that made the game seem a lot more awesome than it is. I mean, the game is great,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
there was a
that-
lot of things that you couldn't do.
I still have it.
The test has proven that statement is a lie. I'm
Hey.
sorry.
Hey,
Incorrect.
I just caught a Farfetched.
Sounds
it's
pretty
actually-
far-fetched.
Yeah.
Recent polls have actually proven that their audiences are declining.
Well, I'm
Pokemon?
not declining.
Thanks, Tori. But
Putting that out
okay. So
there.
those are some examples of
Flash in the
games that
pan.
took a long time to be announced, and then when we finally had it in our hands,
You're not going to like this.
what is it?
Fallout 4.
Well, Fallout 4 wasn't.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Thanks for that. Jumping the gun a little bit.
Yep,
Fallout
my
4 is an
apologies.
example of a surprise. Do you
Yes.
remember that at E3 or their event before E3?
Yeah.
They said it was coming out, and then we had it in our hands, a couple months later. And we got to see a full trailer, full kind of walk through the beginning of the game, what we would experience. That did a lot to build up and give that hype train some momentum. Final Fantasy 15, if we're comparing hype train tracks,
Yeah.
it started fast, but there was too many stops. Like it didn't keep going.
Yeah.
It had to shift from a cold to electric. Like the whole thing changed. They changed the damn game.
Yeah.
So at the end, we got a product that I think was pretty excellent. Maybe not for me, but other people seem to like it. How do we judge when a hype train should leave the station? When it seems to be that even if you have it as a surprise, you'll have a shitty game. Even when it's years beforehand, it could be a shitty game. What do you guys think? I'm eager to hear.
Well, I think you definitely shouldn't be pitching something before you have an actual product. Even
Playable? Like you think you should have?
playable basically. Even the Switch actually. This isn't the game, but the Switch. When they announced the Switch, the actual Switch, like announced the name of it and everything, because I'd been following it before. I can't remember. It was like Nintendo X or something.
Oh God, what was it called? The
NX.
Thank
right,
you.
it was the NX, and I had been following that news for
Yeah.
like years, right? And when they announced the Switch, it was available within, I think, like 6 months or something.
Yeah.
They did it pretty fast. When you have something to show people, I think then that's when you should do it.
But that,
I think
yeah.
what we're getting caught up in though with that is, I think that there are a lot of people who get super excited as they're building it and then spout it off way too soon.
Yeah.
And then because of that, it's like, okay, well, wait a little bit longer. No, wait a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer.
Before we get the game or before they talk about it?
Before we get the game.
Yeah.
And
It'll fizzle out. It'll absolutely fizzle out.
Yeah,
It's
no,
some of the excitement. I don't care about Shenmue 3 right now. And I love those games. I was one of those people at E3 that was screaming when it showed up. But all right, laughing a little too loud
Did
there.
you add some money to that Kickstarter?
Yeah, I did. I'm part of that Kickstarter. I want that game. No, I'm.
You were like, yeah, when they were
I'm
doing it
media
live.
personality. I don't have to pay. Come on. No, I am.
just
I am
picturing you sitting at your
contributing.
desk like,
You're not far off. But now, years later, it's just you can't maintain that level of excitement for that long. And so I just
Ridiculous.
I don't think that like we're saying, the game needs to be perhaps playable, but even more than that, there needs to be a really comprehensive structure for that marketing release. Like I get being really excited when you just see maybe like a small shot or we'll just release a character profile or something and everyone in the forums are going through like, okay, yeah, let's hear the bits and pieces of it. But that's for a game you're already on board the hype train with. If they need to get you on that train, that sort of stuff is not going to get you through the door. I'm really pushing this analogy, but that kind of stuff is not going to get you through the door. How do we get people excited about a Horizon Zero Dawn, one of the most incredible games I've played in the last 10 years?
People did though.
They did. That's what I
they
mean.
did
But
do that.
I think it's such a hard task to get people excited about something that isn't a sequel, that isn't a new console.
Well, I mean, even Splatoon did that. Splatoon did that really, really well.
When it first came out, Splatoon 1.
Yeah, Splatoon 1 did a great job of that. Like, everyone was super excited for it. I mean, it was like the new IP, and they did a really good job at marketing it. They released it at like a pretty good time. About I think it was like two years for the announcement, maybe a little bit shorter. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But yeah, they had time, obviously time to wait and enough to build up that hype train. And I think in a way, it's important to have the hype because it does its own marketing, right? The hype.
But you can also derail if it's not like, if you don't, I think it's like, again, I'm pushing this analogy. I'm going to keep doing it.
Did you say the metaphor has gone off the tracks?
Oh my God.
I think that only works if your game is coming out within a year. I'm of the mind that I don't want a game announced unless I can put my hands on it within 1 year of release. Because that's
like
there's so many
years
games.
Is okay.
There's so okay. If something gets announced that it's going to be released in 2019 right now, I don't care about it at all.
Yeah,
it means like why waste the trailer? Why waste it?
Thank you.
Okay, add more than just thank you.
Spider-Man.
I mean, Spider-Man.
You're not excited about Spider-Man?
Horizon Zero Dawn was about 2 years.
But I don't remember. Do you guys remember being really excited about that game?
I was.
Okay, but I wasn't following it and like waiting for it to come out. I was excited, a couple months maybe before it did come out.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't find myself following every little piece of news. Not hyped up at E3?
Like, oh my God.
I wasn't really, because I wasn't following every little piece of news, right? That wasn't my process with it. There's a few games that do that, but yeah, I'm really all about that 1 year release. I think that's the way you guys do it.
Well, I
Spider-Man
think
just ruined that.
One to two. I think anything longer than 2.
You care about a game that's coming out in 2019 right now?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, there are tons of games that, like, I mean, I don't know. What are we waiting for right now? Monster Hunter. I guess they announced it at this E3, so that's 1 year.
Well, like what games we're waiting for right now, like Red Dead Redemption, Last of Us 2,
God of War.
The new God of War, things like that. God of War, I think, was a pretty good example because
that was
like
last year.
there's two sides to this. Okay, I'll give you a year and a half.
Year and a half.
Okay, I'll give you a year and a half.
Compromise.
2 years, but you're not seeing my caveat here.
Okay.
The first thing I see about your game better be a 5-minute trailer. It better be a walk through the game showing me why this thing is so dope.
Mm-hmm.
Teasers are
nice,
though.
Teasers are garbage.
Okay.
Throw it away.
Okay. When Nintendo Switch teased Odyssey and
that's Mario though. We can't bring that up.
Yeah, that's just in another realm.
What do you mean that's in another realm? That's what we're
You don't
talking
need
about.
to advertise Mario. It's Mario.
But the game, like, they had the trailer for the Switch, and I was watching the trailer for the Switch release, not even the games, but in it they showed a couple of games, and they showed like 2 seconds of Mario, and I was so hyped for this Mario game.
Because
like,
it's
no
Mario,
name.
though.
Yeah.
I don't know if that applies.
They had the Mario Kart, and I was like zooming in into the picture and
that's
looking
on
at
a jet.
like,
That's on a Concorde jet. It's not a hype train. That is taking a direct flight from the factory to your wallet to the screen. Like, they literally showed Mario, and they were able to sell us a Mario Odyssey of him living in GTA land, and there was, like, dinosaurs around. And people were just like, no, I think it's great. I think this is going to really expand on it.
Yeah.
And no, it turned out to be great, but, like, I don't think Mario applies. Me and Cal have been arguing a lot. What about you guys? What do you guys think?
I'm still jaded from Spider-Man.
But
like,
what is the year and a half? What's your...
You guys choose bad
What's your
games to get on the hype train.
Okay.
Hey, now.
I wanted this game right now.
What game?
Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man game that's coming out next year that, friggin' debuted like last EA.
Patience.
E3.
Sorry. Oh my gosh. I just wanted it. They showed like a really nice whole setup, and I was like, "Can I have it?" And they're like, "No, we don't know the release
yet." Okay, give me
more
than this. Like, how could they have made this work for you? Because it's unrealistic for them to just literally like a month before being like, "Hey, this is the AAA title that costs $100 million. Let's spend $5 million on marketing." Like, what could they have done with Mario? With the latest Insomniac take on Spider-Man to get you on that hype train and staying on? Because that's the hardest thing.
A year. They were too early.
Yeah.
They were way too early. Because I thought it was coming out like this year, and then I like read up, and I was like, oh. So all of this was just...
Well, that's what they said, right? At like E3,
yeah.
The biggest thing we got to know was like, wow, 2018 is going to be an incredible year for gaming. Like, that's what they use these releases for. So you think it's within 1 year. What else?
I want it, and I just want a nice
That's
trailer
not
of
a
gameplay.
criticism. I need information
okay,
from you.
I want gameplay. 5-10 minutes of gameplay to see.
We do have that right now.
Well, I want a first half hour. There you go.
Oh,
there you go.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
no, I can't do first half hours.
I know.
You're crazy, man.
I know.
But you want a couple minutes of gameplay within 1 year.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm with you on that. There's too many games to get excited for ones that are years in the making.
Yeah.
What about
That's fair.
What about you, Tor? What do you think?
Okay, so I mean, let's go the movie route and say it is a year or two generally.
Yeah.
For me, if we're looking beyond that, the slightest teaser is okay. Like the cinematic
Really?
teaser. I'm willing to wait for a game for about 4 or 5 years.
Oh, that's
Oh my
lunacy.
god.
That's the hype train.
If I've already played that game in a former format. So,
So sequels. You're talking
yeah,
about sequels.
I'm
You're
willing
on
to
the
wait
sequel
5
train.
years for a sequel.
Yeah.
My little nerd heart will sit at that door and wait and wait and wait. I'm really bad at metaphors.
No, it's
and
we're
yeah,
there's
that's
doors.
She's
Trains
still
have
at the
doors.
station.
Yeah, you haven't gone far.
Still at the
Yeah.
station.
You haven't gone far.
Waiting for that Kingdom Hearts.
I'm not like I jumped off the train for Kingdom Hearts 3 a long
Ouch.
time ago. My heart's not in it so much anymore.
Your Kingdom Heart is
Your
not in
Kingdom
it?
Hearts. So you wait up to 5 years if it's a game that you're looking forward to as a continuation of that story you fell in love with, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
However,
Here we go.
for games that I don't know,
It's so tough, right? New IPs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love being surprised, and I love games that can really grab me with that first impression. And for that, I want to see all of the gameplay. I want to see all of the cinematic. I want to see
All of the gameplay. I want to see the whole game.
What about spoilers? So where are we at with spoilers? So I think we got Corky. That's kind of with
like
me on here
spoilers.
on the correct side of like a year. Big gameplay trailer to begin with. More than a year, a little bit difficult. Callie is going like, hey, 2 years? Don't matter. I'm on the
Okay,
forums.
well,
I'm
okay.
talking with the
Like,
people.
yeah.
Well, hold
One
on.
to
There's a
two.
sliding scale here. Because
One-
then
1
Tori
to 2 years.
is saying, listen, I'll wait a decade for another Kingdom
Oh
Hearts.
no! I said let's leave the decades
Yeah.
to the movies. I'll wait 5 years.
I'll wait 5 years and still be excited, which makes
it's a
me think you
sequel.
haven't had enough failure in your life and sadness to think that way.
I guess one year.
Happy-go-lucky child of
There we go.
too many things.
I
You
guess
did it.
1 year is kind of the perfect time. Like that's the best time frame. 2 years, like, I mean, I used to be like, I would be on Steam Greenlight and I would just go through the Greenlights.
Well,
And
hey,
I'd be like, hell yeah.
let's jump into that now because we're talking about what we're talking about previously is more about AAA titles.
Yeah.
If we're talking about indie games, that's
I'm on the hype train of Ooblets right now. I literally
so like voracious.
I'm so excited for Ooblets.
Now, listen, that is, as they say, a horse of a different color. Because when we're dealing, I had to look up if that's what the analogy is, but that's what it is. When we're talking about indie games, there are so many, and they're so innovative and fun, and they're so cheap, and they can just give you that burst of incredible experiences every single week. It's really hard to be aware of all those. So I like being excited about those, but I have missed a lot of great indie experiences.
Greenlight.
I understand, but it's
gone.
not always with Greenlight. It's gone now, so we don't even have
Yeah.
that. But there's a lot of times where it'll be just an indie developer that's not going, the Greenlight path, and I'll
Yeah.
miss it and find out about it weeks later. And it really doesn't work for me. That's why I adore early access. I'm a big proponent of that. I'm willing to spend.
Really?
Yeah, because I talk about Divinity Original Sin 2. I had that code like a year and a half ago. I'm playing I played it a bit then, enjoyed it. And it reminded me that when the full game was released of what I'm going to be getting. I like that environment a bit. You're not getting the full experience, but that is almost to me like the ultimate hype train because you're kind of already there. Like you already did a FaceTime with your destination.
I'm actually not a big fan of the early access thing.
Is it because I said I like them? Is that
Yeah.
why?
No, it's because they tend to charge for it as well. Like beta is different. Like
Okay.
playing like I'm part of this like elite play testing group. I don't know. But basically, like, if you get the beta code and you get to play the game before it's out, you're like, yeah, that's really cool. But when they charge for early access games like PUBG and stuff like that, it's like, but the game's not even done. Why are you charging me?
But once again, I think this falls into the thread of, is it an indie game or is it like a full-blown corporation? Like,
but there's early access for indie games and they do charge.
Yes.
Well, I think that's okay to pay for though. They almost need that.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But then that's the same as pre-orders, though.
What does that do? Well, you're playing the game though. You're playing something. What does that do to your hype? I'm going to ask that. If you take early access, Tori, what does that do for your hype for a game?
For me, it's like, they're really committed to their consumers. They wanna really build this relationship. They really want to give me that sneak peek. I'm down for this. And then I mean, when they release the full game, I should hope that they've kept track, especially if it's on something like Steam, so that when the full version is there, I'm either getting it for free or getting a real sweet discount.
You usually do get it for free. That's usually how it works. Yeah.
If you do early access?
Yeah. If you get early access, you also get the game. Like I have Divinity because of that, because I was in the Kickstarter and the early access with it. But no, I understand what you mean. It's kind of a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, it could tamp down a bit of that hype excitement.
Yeah, I think it takes away from the hype, and I actually like the excitement. You
haven't been burned though. You haven't had like.
I haven't been burned because I'm good at choosing.
Mass Effect Andromeda it burned me so bad. I can't dive into that. I can't love again.
No, I was super hyped for. I was like scrolling through Greenlight and I found Hyper Light Drifter. Yeah. And so I waited I think it was 2 or 3 years or something. 2 years maybe? 2 years. So that's the 2 year mark.
See, that's crazy.
And I was so hyped for that. And it definitely lived up. So.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, do you guys have any instances, but before we close this out, because I think we're just going to get more, truncated in our positions at this point. But have there been moments where the hype for a game, in your experience, really led you to some severe disappointment? You don't have to raise your hand. We're doing a show.
Duke Nukem Forever.
So you actually wanted that game, though.
Yes.
Like you were like, this looks fun.
I played it as a kid and I was like, awesome.
Yeah.
And then I played it and it was a hunk of crap.
Yeah, it's really one of the worst.
It's literally one of the worst games I've ever played, and I'm like, no.
But were you following that, or were you just kind of excited?
No, I was actually kind of following it.
That's
off
rough.
And on. I know.
That is depressing.
I know, and I was like, awesome, it's back.
Follow the good games, guys.
Isn't that upsetting when you're following a game and then review morning, the Christmas morning, you look at GameSpot, it's a 6.
Yeah.
Because that's the one where it's it's a AAA title, so they can't give it a 4 or a 2. Because then they won't get the next review codes that come with it. A 6 from major studios for review score is basically a -8.
Yeah,
it's I think it's the worst thing they can do for the big ones. But that was incredibly upsetting. Do you guys have anything like that where you were really excited about a game and then you got it in your hands or heard about it, or maybe you didn't even get it? Did that happen to you guys? You were excited about a game and then realized, you know what? I'm not even going to play this one.
I can think of consoles that were like when I got the GameCube.
You hated it?
I didn't hate it, but it just lacked a little bit of luster for me. Maybe it was because my brother totally forbid me from playing Smash Brothers.
That could probably
rude.
I know, right?
That'll do it.
And I loved Smash Brothers, but I wasn't allowed to play that one because that was his game. So I got Luigi's Mansion.
That's still pretty dope.
That's pretty dope.
It's not bad. It's not as iconic though.
It's not as iconic, and I got tired of it, and I got stuck in a few places, and I kind of conked out.
Yeah.
So I was, and when more and more games came out for GameCube, for me, I wasn't super excited about them, and I kind of fell off track with that.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
actually,
consoles,
I was really on the hype train for Destiny.
Oh, Destiny 1?
Destiny 1.
Okay.
I was super on the hype train, following Bungie and everything. When it released, I got it, and I convinced my partner to get the season pass and everything, because I was like, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really continue with the game. I kind of launched it up, and I was like, oh, okay. And he continued to play it, but I did pick it up again later, and I mean, I love Destiny, so it's like it's kind of a weird place for me, I guess. Like it was like kind of okay when it started out, but then it just
maybe
got
you were
amazing.
too hyped. Maybe it was just you set your standards so high that
no,
you
but I'm
never
still-
achieve that
But I'm still not
pedestal
that
that you put it
disappointed
on.
by it, because like they still have all the things I was really excited for in it, like the art and the the Firefly cast and everything.
Maybe
And-
that's the fear, though. Like the idea, if we put one of these pieces of art on a pedestal too high, it'll never shine as bright as it did in our mind's eye. It will never be as beautiful as the
Odyssey
stars that
did.
we saw. Okay, we get it. Your life is perfect.
What about
Everything's
What about
magic.
Skyrim,
Like-
guys? Everyone was hyped for Skyrim, and it was pretty
Skyrim
awesome.
sucks. Next. Not the biggest fan of Skyrim. A little
Oh my
Oblivion
God.
was better, but
Agreed.
Jeez.
Oblivion
High
is
five on that one. What's up? Let's do it. Boom. Perfect. So the final note here. I think that ultimately it's such a personal decision if you're watching this at home and thinking, I'm definitely a Tory. I'm definitely a Cali when it comes to this stuff. Please tell us below. And I think we're just gonna close out with the games that we are kind of on the hype train for right now. Is there any game that you can say with confidence, choo choo, choo choo, I am on the hype train for?
The new Last of Us 2.
You almost didn't remember the name,
I
so I
know.
don't know how excited you are about
well,
it.
The Last of Us 2, because yeah. It's
Okay,
just,
what about you?
Ooblets, Monster Hunter World, and Dauntless.
Dauntless, yeah,
yeah.
really interesting. All right, Tori, come back to us. Are you excited about anything?
Well, now I'm on the hype train for The Inpatient, which is apparently a prequel to Until Dawn.
Here we go. So we got some about. You're just thinking about it now. And I am not excited about anything. Life is pain.
Boo.
I'm Andy Burkowski. Thanks for watching Dialogue Wheel.
Without a doubt, the worst episode ever. Rest assured that I was on the internet within minutes, registering my disgust throughout the world.